Olá, bem-vindos a mais um vídeo à Conversa com. Eu estou aqui à espera que entre a minha convidada de hoje. Estou muito contente porque ela é uma pessoa que eu já sigo o trabalho dela, as atividades dela há algum tempo. Finalmente conseguimos acertar os nossos horários neste dia quentíssimo de verão, mas é uma coisa que nós já estávamos a pensar fazer há alguns meses. Mas vai ser a primeira conversa que eu vou ter mesmo assim, conversa com ela, porque o resto era mensagem para trás e para a frente. Sem mais delongas, com quem é que eu vou falar hoje? Eu vou falar com uma pessoa que na internet está identificada como Senhora Ayaka, aqui está ela, e eu vou utilizar só a designação que ela prefere utilizar. E vamos falar em inglês, portanto, a partir daqui vamos falar sempre em inglês.
Oh.
Wow, you're at the beach.
Yeah. Too high.
On the beach.
Okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you so much. We can finally speak directly, not just messages.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the contacting to me.
I would like to give you congratulations because your YouTube channel is really good. I like to follow your YouTube channel.
Thank you.
and if you don't mind, I will try to share it on the screen as well so people can know about it. So yeah,
thank you.
now you can see my own computer.
Yeah.
So this is the YouTube channel you all should be following now.
Thank you. Yeah,
And you
please
posted
subscribe
already
my channel.
so much already.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So-
usually speak Japanese.
Hmm?
And I'm showing I travel to the other cities and my experience in
I
Portugal.
think it's really important because there are already quite a few numbers of YouTube channels about Portugal, of course in many languages, but not so many in Japanese. So that's why.
Yes, exactly.
So everyone go and check that out. So now I think I finished the sharing of the screen parts. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I did prepare some questions for you. And of course, the first one is, when you still lived in Japan, how was your idea about Portugal? Did you knew about Portugal at all? It was on your radar, on your mind, or not at all?
To be honest,
Yes.
I didn't know where is Portugal. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine because it's the general idea, right? Portugal is not so well known.
I knew a long time ago Japan and Portugal has a how to say friendship, but I didn't know where is Portugal, what language they speak. Yeah, when I met my husband, he asked me, Ayaka, do you know about Portugal? I said, I'm sorry, I have no idea. Of course, now I know more, but before I didn't have knowledge about Portugal.
And do you think most Japanese people living in Japan, that's the general idea, right? Most Japanese people living in Japan were like you. They learn about Portugal in history classes, but none other than that. Just finish speaking in school and they don't know much more about it.
Yes, unfortunately. I talked with my friend last week. She said, Ayaka, I want to go to Spain. And I was like, why Spain? Why not Portugal? And she was
Exactly.
Because Portugal is part of Spain. I said, no, it's not true. Yeah, but I think a lot of people confused, like Portugal is part of Spain.
Or sometimes in Brazil, or sometimes part of Brazil, also because of the languages.
Yeah, true.
So I think that's pretty common. I mean, it was a standard situation. You were not the exception. Most Japanese people in Japan don't know about Portugal. And I have to do a sort of mea culpa. It's like the Portuguese should promote more Portugal in Japan and should work towards that goal. So it's actually, I mean, the Portuguese representatives in Japan should work more to change that situation.
I agree. And what you do on the Facebook, I think it's really good.
Yeah, and I'm also trying to work on that. And also to show the real Portugal to the Japanese who visit Portugal. Because, and this leads us to our third issue, which is the cultural shock, or the issue of being a cultural shock. In your case, you lived in another country before moving to Portugal, a Western country. So do you think that helped you to adjust from Japanese culture to Western culture, and then finally to Portugal? Did it help anyhow?
I think so. Yeah, like now I can comparing like between Canada and Portugal, or Japan and Canada and Portugal. And yeah, I think it helped to like a step by step.
Yeah, exactly. Step by step. And that's, of course, sometimes there's also the reverse problem. So someone from Portugal that just moved to Japan directly, you know, without moving to another Asian country first, directly to Japan. Of course, there are some type of cultural shock in either way.
Yeah, right.
Did you find any major cultural shock when you moved to Portugal?
Culture shock in Portugal. I thought Portuguese people are shy, very shy, because I have visited Portugal 4 years ago. It was 2017. That moment, nobody talked to me, or like how can I say? Yeah, nobody talked to me or like smiling or something like that. But I moved to here last year. I tried to speak a little bit Portuguese. People are more friendly, more smiling. Even though I said I cannot speak Portuguese, I don't understand. People talk to me. They don't stop. So that's
you had no choice. You needed to.
yeah, exactly. I have to learn. But if you speak just a little bit Portuguese people are more friendly, more open, I think.
Yeah.
But if you speak only English or Japanese, I think people is more shy, close, shy.
I think it's mostly because they don't know if you are going to be a resident or just a tourist. So, you know, it's that kind of mindset that I think it also exists in Japan. There's the difference between the foreigner that wants to be one of us, you know, for a long time, or the foreigner that is just passing by as a tourist. So there's no point in creating meaningful relationships if it's just a tourist. But if you show that you're trying to learn the language, or if you show that you're moving to Portugal for family reasons or anything, then people just embrace you because you chose us and you chose Portugal.
Yeah, I think it's very similar Japan and Portugal.
In that sense, right? Yeah, I also felt like that. Like if people thought that I was like an exchange researcher or a temporary visitor or a tourist or anything, of course they were not very open. But once I clarified my project, and this is a long-term project, and what I'm doing with people visiting each other and so on, and then they suddenly sort of adopt me. And it's more like a family thing. So that's good. And let me check our topics so we don't lose track. So, so far, how much have you traveled and seen in Portugal?
So I'm living in north, very north, very close to Spain. The district is Viana do Castelo. So mostly where I visit is more north part. Like what's the name? Barcelos.
Yep. Guimarães.
Braga, Guimarães, Caminha.
You said that very well, Guimarães. Your pronunciation is really good.
Thank you. Yeah, and also I visited Monsanto. It's very beautiful.
About Monsanto, I'm curious because the village of my grandparents is very near Monsanto because it's in Beira Baixa, and I can say on the internet, I'm very proud of it. So my grandparents are from a very, very small village called São Miguel d'Acha. And São Miguel d'Acha and Proença, they're all villages around Peña Garcia and Monsanto. So those villages are all in the same area. But I became very curious about why does Monsanto is so famous with the Japanese? Because there's a lot of Japanese that visit Monsanto.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Oh.
I don't know if it was featured in the magazine or something. That there are a lot of villages in that area, and personally, I think that Peña Garcia is also a very pretty one. Everyone goes to Monsanto.
Oh, that's I don't know. It was my husband's idea.
Is it because of the big stones? Do you find that those huge stones impressive or something like that?
I think so, yeah. And also the village is very traditional.
That's true.
Yeah, and it looks very different between my area and Monsanto. I mean, like how to say, middle of Portugal.
Yeah.
And north is the architecture is very different. So also we visit Castelo Branco.
Castelo Branco, yeah. I've been there so many times because it's very near my grandparents' house, Castelo Branco.
Okay. We
So
also visit another
my whole
village.
childhood was the whole summers in my childhood were in that area. I always went there for my grandparents. It's incredibly hot in the summer. It's almost boiling.
Really?
Now it's very hot. Don't go in the summer.
Okay, good to know that. It's really beautiful. Yeah. Very beautiful.
You went to that garden in Castelo Branco that had like a staircase, a very big staircase in the garden. Did you notice?
Yeah. Yeah, we've been there. It's really beautiful.
And they also have a type of embroidery called bordados de Castelo Branco. Did you manage to find about that? So it's a type of needlework embroidery. And the motifs that usually they put in the fabrics, the motifs are actually inspired in Asian motifs, Indian and Turkish and from Iran, from that part of. So yeah, it's interesting. So far you visited north, center, interior, big cities, small cities, little, very, very, very little villages. Overall, what do you find more interesting? The urban areas or the small and rural towns?
It's difficult to say. I don't know. It's really difficult. I like both. Because when I visit city, it's like a different point of view. For example, if I go to the countryside, I enjoy more traditional house, traditional restaurant. And then when I visit like a big city, I usually go to a Asian restaurant.
You get the chance to go, yeah.
Yeah, because where I live, we don't have Asian food. So every time I go to a big city, I mostly go to a Asian restaurant, buy the groceries.
Yeah.
But also they have traditional buildings too. So I like both.
Yeah, it's a interesting mix because Portugal has somewhat urban life, mostly in big cities like Porto and Lisbon. But I guess there's a difference between city life and rural life still in Portugal. Very, very different from each other. So do you think there's any particular thing or site or place or tradition that is sort of a hidden gem? Let's use that expression, like a hidden treasure or a hidden gem that foreigner visitors would like to know about, but it's not very well known?
One thing, I don't know. I don't know if I'm answering correct. What I surprised, the Portuguese house is only one. What's the name? Plug.
Yeah.
Like each place has only one plug.
Oh, you found that. Okay. You think there's not much plugs in the house?
No.
Okay.
Like,
I think it depends on the construction year, but yes, that's very.
Oh, maybe it's because I'm living old house.
Yeah, older houses usually don't have many plugs. That's right. Yeah.
So be careful.
Yeah, be careful because people didn't used to have many appliances that they needed to get from electricity too. So yeah, that's an issue if you get an older house. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's I don't know. Do you have something example?
So for instance, I see when I'm helping Japanese to visit Portugal and to learn more about Portuguese culture, of course, because now I'm based in Coimbra, I'm living in Coimbra. What I like to show them is the center of Portugal because it's easy for me to drive them around. And I usually take them to Castelo de Montemoro Velho, which is a medieval castle, and it's very well preserved. And it's a very good place to tell about history and culture of Portugal. And they actually feel like they're traveling in time because the whole castle is there. Like they can actually visit inside and explore. And usually the feedback that I get is like, why is this castle not famous? Like, why isn't this castle on brochures, on advertisements, on things like that? But I'm not saying that it's only Montemoro Velho. I think there's a lot of these little things all around the country that are not well known for foreigners. So when they buy packages, tours, and so on, they only see Porto, Lisbon, and they don't even go 15 kilometers on the side of the town to find something else. So that's why I always try to show them something else outside the normal route. They can discover these kinds of things.
I think that's very interesting to foreign people.
Yeah.
Because they cannot go themselves.
They could if they knew it existed. They could rent a car because it's literally 15 minutes drive by car. And it's like a straight line. It's very easy. If they knew it existed, they could go. But the thing is, it's not advertised. It's not known. So they don't even know it's there.
Yeah,
And
that's the problem.
that's the problem.
Yeah.
Did you find some of these places? Of course, you show them on your YouTube channel, but did you find some of these places that you thought, wow, the foreigners that visit Portugal should know about this?
There's so many. I try to take video and try to showing on my YouTube, but it's too many I want to share. But for example, where I live, my city, Arcos Verde, it's so beautiful. You should visit.
Yes, for sure.
It's really beautiful.
Yeah, that's another reason why I asked you that, because I know you're living in a small town, Arcos Verde. Last topic. What would be your advice for foreigners, specifically Japanese nationals, that are planning on moving to Portugal?
Advice? Oh, it's really hot here. Sun is very strong. I recommend Japanese to bring the umbrella for sun, higasa. That is they should bring. But I don't know if they use it here. People will be curious.
Well, I use it. I don't care. I use it all the time. All the time.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah. I got that.
Not.
Most people don't do that, but I got used to do it in Japan. And of course, it's a very useful thing. So I do it. I don't care if people look at me or not. I just do it.
Yeah, because I asked my parents if they can come to visit Portugal. Please bring a higasa for me, because I don't have here. Sun is very strong, and recently it's very hot. What else?
Do you find that the paperwork is difficult, the residency status, like the residency card and the visas? Is it very difficult for someone from Japan to go through that process?
Comparing Canada, I think Portugal is very easy. Very simple step, cheap. But if you don't speak Portuguese, maybe a little bit complicated. I don't know, if you move to a big city, maybe they speak English.
In the services, you mean, like in the public service, you go to take care of the paperwork?
Yeah, like SEF or to take a NIF.
Junta de freguesia and so on.
I think, yeah, what I want to say, forgot. Yeah, so a service is faster than Canada.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, faster, cheaper, and people is very kind. If I have a question, they answer to me. Yeah. I think almost similar to Japanese service.
Except that
what do you think?
In Portugal, you can get residency after 5 years, I guess. You can get permanent resident cards after 5 years if you're a foreigner, and not in Japan, of course. In Japan, the immigration process and the visa process, of course, you basically can never get permanent residency.
Japan is not really open.
Yes. I'm glad that you said it, because you know, if I said it, people will think that I will be speaking bad mouthing the Japanese, but it's not. It's true.
Oh, I shouldn't say that.
No, it's better than you said it instead of me. But it's true. Like in Portugal, if you stay here for 5 years and you're from Japan or any other country, basically almost all countries are like that. If you stay here for 5 years and you either study or work, but you show that you have lived and supported yourself, and you, of course, you didn't commit any crime, like after 5 years, that's it. You are a permanent resident. And that never happens in Japan. Never.
Yeah. That's impossible.
Yeah.
But would you like to live in Japan?
For me, personally, my work is more between Portugal and Japan, so I have to go back and forth. But I know a lot of people that lived in Japan as a researcher or as a teacher for a long time, or somehow some of my friends also married Japanese people, and now they are living there permanently. And they complain a lot about the fact that they still need to renew their visas, sometimes annually, and it's a bummer, and it has to be done in person, and the paperwork is very hard, even though some of them are there for more than 10 years and they still have to do it very often.
Whoa. That's the Japanese.
That's the Japanese way.
Yeah.
So we went through our topics, but if you want to tell people anything else about your experience of living in Portugal and filming these videos for YouTube, go ahead, because I think people would like to know.
Well, I really like to live in Portugal because the environment is good, food is good, very good. I gain weight.
Everyone says that.
Yeah, they eat a lot rice. This is very good with Japanese.
Yeah.
A lot seafood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially retirement people think it's really good place to live in Portugal because it's everything very cheap.
And they have a health system. The health system in Portugal it's better than in Japan, in the sense that if you live here permanently, you get access to public health services.
Yeah. And it's all free. But I don't know, comparing Japan, we need to pay for the hospital.
Yeah.
But it's faster.
Yes, that's right. Exactly.
But here I go to hospital with grandma, my husband's grandma. It takes so long to have a next appointment. But of course, if it's emergency, they do a very fast. They do take care of grandmother a lot. It's really good service. But for the appointment, for me it's a bit too long. Sorry, but I'm not sure about Japan too. But I think Japan is faster.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a perfect system, but yeah, you have to wait. What will be more important? Like, to have access to all the exams and appointments almost for free, or to be taken care of very fast, very proficiently.
Yeah. But it's still good. Still good. It's free. That's a good point.
And it's very thorough. Like they examine everything. They don't leave anything out.
Yeah, true.
And especially my friends from Japan, the Japanese friends who live in Japan and are having babies, or sometimes they're pregnant or having babies, and when I tell them that they can have all the pregnancy appointments and the labor, the delivery of the baby and everything in the, in maternidade for free in Portugal, and they are amazed because having a baby in Japan is so expensive.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So if you want to have a family, like everything related to taking care of the pregnant woman, having the baby, and then taking care of the child, all of that is very good in Portugal because we are desperate to increase our population, basically.
That's why they're welcome.
Yeah, come here, make babies.
But Japan, they should do that.
They should do that,
it's
right?
too expensive. Yeah, they need more babies.
If they did that, maybe Japanese people in Japan will start to have more babies. I don't know. I think the problem is more deep than that.
Yeah, I think so. Like a kindergarten, a job.
It's deeper than that. But if you compare Portugal to Japan, I would say Portugal is more retirement friendly and also more kids baby friendly.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a strong point for women because we think about those things.
Yeah, true. Also, good point in Portugal. It's not only Portugal, but you can visit another country. Spain is very close. Morocco also close. And also like France, Germany, like everywhere you can go.
Yeah.
Like even if you have only like 2 days off, it's possible you can visit another country.
Yeah, that's right. I would say our psychological idea of distance, it's like France is right there. It's like for us in our mindset, it's like I'll just have a long weekend, maybe a weekend and then a holiday on Monday. If I have a long weekend, I can go to Paris or I can go to London, or like in the mindset of the Europeans, I would say that we think about Europe as a whole. It's not like we are only in Portugal. It's like the other ones are right there.
That is very nice. Japan, we can do maybe Korea, Taiwan, maybe.
I mean, but in Japan, if you live like in Tokyo or Chiba, and if you go to Hokkaido, it looks like a different country.
Oh yeah.
Or if you go to Okinawa.
Yeah, right. It's totally different.
Exactly. Most people in Portugal don't know about that. So I keep stressing them the point, like Japan is very big and it's very different from one prefecture to the other.
Yeah, right. Yeah, true. It's big different. Hokkaido and Okinawa.
Especially the climate.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Ayaka-san, for this meeting. And I would like to invite everyone that is looking at this video to go and check the YouTube channel, Senora Ayaka. And of course, if you have more questions for Ayaka-san or me, you just can write them in the comments and maybe we can answer to your questions in a second video. I don't know, maybe if you have questions.
Yeah. Also, my husband has a YouTube channel.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah. What is the YouTube channel? The name?
Kinashi-san.
Kinashi-san. So it's the other point of view. It's the Portuguese that married the Japanese lady.
He didn't talk about our life, but he remake my video to more English speaker. So if people watching this video speaking only English, maybe you can check my husband YouTube.
Yes, I will put the link on the description. So if you're curious about that, go to the description of the video on the YouTube channel and click on the link. I will put the link there.
Yeah, please subscribe my husband's YouTube channel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure, because I think those kinds of amateur, so to speak, amateur YouTube channels, we are actually trying to show people the country we live in and the culture. So we are not sponsored. This is not for business. We just really like Portugal and Japan.
Yes. I hope more Japanese know about more Portugal and please come to visit.
Yes. Now you can visit without tests. You don't need to do COVID tests anymore.
Yes.
You just take the plane, get out of the airport, and start your vacation.
Yeah, you don't have to wear mask.
No, no more problem. This is really, it's good. We're good now. Thank God.
Yeah. Finally.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye for now, but we'll keep in touch.
Keep in touch. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bem-vindos à parte final do vídeo. A parte final do vídeo volta a ser em português e na parte final do vídeo nós temos surpresas. Então, a surpresa desta parte final do vídeo é que nós voltamos a ter prémios. Já num vídeo passado, acho que foi não o último antes deste, mas antes desse, acho eu, depende da ordem que eu vou publicar, houve um presente que eu tinha vontade de dar às pessoas e que era surpresa. Então vai voltar a haver presentes que vão ser surpresa e que são sempre coisinhas boas e que são sempre coisinhas do Japão ou da cultura japonesa ou leituras ou algo assim. Portanto, se vocês são fãs de cultura japonesa, se vocês gostariam de ter um miminho de receber um presente nas vossas casas para vos lembrar o amor que vocês têm pelo Japão, eu estou cá para vocês. O que é que eu quero que vocês façam? Eu quero que vocês partilhem algum vídeo, qualquer vídeo que vocês queiram, do meu canal de YouTube, deste canal de YouTube. Que façam essa referência, essa partilha nas vossas redes sociais. Pode ser o Instagram, pode ser o Facebook, pode ser, se vocês tiverem um blog, pode ser um blog. Façam uma partilha, qualquer, do vídeo, concretamente, do vídeo diretamente. À escolha, há muito para onde escolher. Vocês podem escolher um vídeo de matemática que cai bem no vosso feed de informação, cai bem para vocês partilharem aos vossos amigos e conhecidos. Olha, vão lá checar este vídeo, que eu gostei desta temática, esta temática tem a ver comigo. Qualquer coisa. Vocês são livres de escolher, não há nada mais fácil do que isso. E depois escrevem aqui nos comentários deste vídeo, feito. Escrevem só isso, feito. Depois vão entrar em contato comigo. Pode ser através de e-mail, da tal rede social onde vocês partilharam o vídeo. Se vocês partilharam no Instagram, no vosso Instagram, se calhar faz mais sentido simplesmente mandarem uma mensagem no meu Instagram ou no Instagram do Projeto Cultural Pedagógico Japão em Portugal a dizer, olha, já partilhei, vê lá. Se tiver no vosso mural, se tiver público, claro, se a vossa conta for privada eu não vou conseguir ver, mas vocês fazem um screenshot em como partilharam, eu só preciso saber que partilharam, não preciso ter acesso às vossas contas de maneira nenhuma. Portanto, eu só quero que vocês me contactem, me digam que partilharam e que mostrem que partilharam. Se vocês fizerem isso, eu depois vou pedir a morada e vou mandar para a vossa morada o presente. É tão simples quanto isso. Já viram? Demora, aqui, 2 minutos a fazer isso. Vão checar aqui. O que vai demorar mais tempo é vocês escolherem um vídeo neste canal para partilhar, de verdade, porque há tantos. O que vai demorar mais tempo é isso. Mas pronto, é só isso. É só partilharem o vídeo, mandarem a mensagem para mim, para o projeto, nas nossas redes sociais, a dizerem, já partilhei, olha aqui, screenshot, está partilhado. E depois eu contacto-vos para vos pedir a morada, para mandar o presente. Há um número limitado de presentes que eu posso levar, que eu posso enviar. Portanto, isto é só para os primeiros a fazerem isto. Quando este vídeo for para o ar, a partir do momento em que este vídeo for para o ar, as primeiras pessoas a contactarem e a mostrarem que fizeram isso vão ser aquelas que vão receber presente. É uma questão de first come, first served, como se costuma dizer. É uma questão dos primeiros a verem o vídeo e a fazerem isso. E de vez em quando vai acontecer estas coisas aqui no canal. Portanto, vocês têm que notificar, têm que ativar as notificaçõezinhas, têm que ver as notificaçõezinhas, ver o vídeo assim que ele sai. Eu tenho posto agora geralmente mais ao final do dia, que é para as pessoas, final do dia, hora de Portugal, porque estive a ver as estatísticas e a maior parte das pessoas estão a seguir em Portugal. Portanto, assim que virem o vídeo, fazem o que têm que fazer e candidatam-se a receberem prémios. Os que fizerem esta participação com estas regras, já depois de esgotar aquilo que nós podemos mandar como presente para vocês, eu vou tentar, ainda assim, se não for uma avalanche muito grande de gente, contactar cada pessoa um a um e dizer, olha, desta vez já chegaste em, sei lá, 10º lugar ou 20º lugar e já não temos presente para te mandar, mas obrigada pela tua participação, fica atento ao próximo. Eu vou tentar não deixar ninguém pendurado sem resposta, depende um bocado do volume, mas temos um número limitado, de facto. Para cada presente, temos um número limitado. Mas temos recebido bom feedback quando mandamos estes presentes para as pessoas, depois as pessoas abrem as caixas, não sei o quê. Eu não publico, eu não partilho as reações das pessoas, mas é giro, é fixe quando mandam para mim e dizem, já chegou e gostei. Portanto, são sempre diferentes. Os pacotes, o que está lá dentro, são sempre diferentes, mas são sempre recordações, são sempre coisas para vocês sentirem o vosso coração mais perto do Japão, para estreitar esta distância. E espero que vos anime a continuarem a acalentar a expectativa de irem explorar o Japão, irem conhecerem o Japão real. E eu vou continuando a colocar aqui também conteúdos no canal sobre isso e a dar updates de como é que estão as fronteiras e como é que está a possibilidade de visitarmos o Japão. Grande beijoca para todos e até ao próximo vídeo.